Today it's the Squier Affinity, and not just one but three different Squier Affinity Strats that I'll be talking about. I've tried all of these on my channel. The reason I'm doing this is probably because the Affinity is probably one of the world's most popular beginner guitars, and I wanted to talk about if it lives up to that popularity. Hello and welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen, and it's good to have you along. So, the Squier Affinity. This one is a new one that I recently featured in a comparison video of Squier Strats. It costs 198 euros here in Finland. I've also tried an HSS version about a year ago, I think, and I tried an old Affinity Strat maybe 5 years ago. The thing about that old Affinity Strat is that I had it at the place where I worked as a music teacher in middle school, and I reviewed it, and then it was a guitar at the school. I played it on occasion, and I know how it's stood the test of time. Anyway, some sounds from all of these, and maybe some whammy bar testing as well. I'll use the stuff from the older videos, and I'll say why after the sounds. Actually, that's bordering on being kind of, there's something wrong with the neck. Yeah, even with moderate use it stays in tune very nicely. I will bet you that if I push it down all the way, it won't stay in tune. Not entirely, but actually surprisingly well. Yeah, so I have this one here, and it's a fairly similar thing with the first one that I tried. The second one was a bit different, and not just in terms of the pickup configuration. I know 3 guitars is not a huge sample size, but it's 3 times more than just 1 guitar. Now, I do think there might be some merit to the popularity of the Affinity. I mean, price, I don't think it has to do with price. There are cheaper ones out there that do the job just as well, if not better. And then there's also another factor. But in terms of what is really something that I think that these guitars do well, is that none of them are, at least what I'm hearing and experiencing, complete and utter rubbish. So there is a minimum standard of quality control. That's my assumption. I might be wrong there. But I'm searching for why they would be so popular. Another reason is the brand. It's Squier by Fender. That definitely plays into the whole thing. There is the historic reason of cheaper guitar brands being absolutely terrible, whereas Squier has been at least okay. I remember working in Soitinlainen, a music store or instrument store here in Turku, where I live, and picking up a Squier Affinity. I assume it was an Affinity back then. I think so. Or taking it out of the box, setting it up and being like, hey, this is really good. Whereas other budget-friendly guitars, maybe not so much. Like Harley Benton was a new thing back then. And they were absolutely atrocious. But here's the deal. I think that's changed. I think these, for 200, you get all sorts of stuff that's better. Just plain and simple better. If you want to go below this price, you can get the Indio Classic Strat for around $100 and you get a gig bag with that. That might be a bit more expensive with shipping. Around the same price, you have the Jet JS300, HSS, the Jet JS400, Harley Bensons of different varieties, some that I would not recommend at all. But for instance, the ST62, which I recently featured on the channel. Brilliant. There's the Earth Strat, which I tried ages ago. Still one of the absolutely brilliant. And it was roughly the same, maybe about 50 euros more. And the thing about these is I really liked the HSS version that I tried. Not because of the humbucker, but it was really quite a good guitar. I was surprised by it, positively surprised, because I had tried the, like I said, the old Affinity, which does still reside where I used to work, and I thoroughly disliked it. There was an old Korea Strat there, a Squier made in Korea Strat there as well, which I really preferred. I didn't like that Affinity at all, and I don't like this one either. One thing, frets aren't polished. I don't like the size of the frets. Everything feels a bit cheap. Might be the body is a bit thinner. The trem block is thin. You get all sorts of stuff that's better than this for the same money. Like the Jets, like the Harley Benton SD62, which has the same trem block type thing, but still it's cheaper as well, and it's better. The fretwork is nicer. In the defense of all of these, I want to be balanced here. None of these have had issues with frets popping out, I mean sticking out like that. The first one did have fret sprouts. This might develop fret sprout now that we're getting into, well, we're in autumn now when I'm filming this, end of September. The winter is dry in Finland, so that might mean that the wood dries out and you might get fret sprout, I don't know. The bottom line is that they're fine for a beginner. There are better things out there, but they're fine. But I wouldn't use this as a modding platform either. I would get something like the JS300 by Jet and swap out parts in that, or the ST62 by Harley Benton, something like that. So yeah, for me the Affinities, I kind of understand their popularity, but I think there's stuff out there that's better. But as with anything, try before you buy, or make sure you can send it back. I do actually urge you to try these and see what you think. Go to your local instrument store if you have one of those and try one out and compare it to other things. That will improve your knowledge of different instruments and pick what you like, basically. For me, I'm not a fan of the Affinity series. If you want to check out my Squier comparison of the different strats, that video is here. Other than that, I hope you found this video useful in some way. I hope you decide to support the channel. There are links in the description to that. But above all, I hope you have a nice day. See you. Take care. Goodbye.